Well, hello, Dunamis Woman community. Come on in, come on in. We're a little late, but guess what? Great parties don't start until it's late at night. So come on in and join me for another powerful Woman of Power interview. I'm so excited to see you all. Let me make sure that you guys are live with me. Good evening, Shamika. You are the first person that came on in for the party right on our YouTube family, right over there for YouTube. So hello, Shamika. How are you doing? Let me make sure I pin this to the top. If you've been with me all 5 days, you already know how things go. Meaning, tag a sister down below to make sure that she is seeing this. So she doesn't say, wait, are we on tonight? Are we off tonight? Guess what? Tell her we are on, sis. We are on, and tag her, and so she can come right on in to join this last Woman of Power interview. I'm so excited to be with you all. And if you did not get my email earlier today, before I just kind of get us all the way through, I gave you all a thank you, right? Sent a thank you email because I really do want to say thank you for not only being a part of this community, but for trusting, my mom and myself and Dunamis Woman as a whole, our team, to guide you on your healing journey, your spiritual growth journey. And so someone said they're watching from the bathroom. No, I'm not teaching from the bathroom. This isn't a bathroom, but I would teach from a bathroom if y'all want me to. But I want to just thank you guys for allowing us to be on this journey with you all, trusting us for your transformation and what you're necessarily going through, and just allowing yourself to be open to something new. I know that oftentimes when you go through a healing journey and a process, you have never experienced maybe teachings like this before. You've never experienced sisterhood like this before. You've never experienced transparency, and so sometimes that could be uncomfortable, but you are continuing to trust yourself in the process of what it is that you're going through and how you're growing through this, right? So even if this is your first time with us or you've been with us for a long time, I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for all of y'all who have rocked with me every single day. If you have been here every single day, I want you to put in the chat, I've been here all days. Let me see those who have been here every single day from Monday through Friday, because I'm going to recap. Monday, we started off with no more passivity. Then day 2, we came with that no more promiscuity. And then day 3, we had no more pride. Then day 4, which was yesterday, we talked about no more perversion. And tonight, we are talking about no more poverty. Yes, Felicia, you've been here all days. Denise, you've been here all week. Shanira every day. Shanira, why are you on the YouTube side? Why are you over there on the YouTube side? Lady, you over there in the YouTube family. You've been there all 5 days. Aren't y'all glad I streamed on YouTube so y'all can show up? So I'm glad for everyone who's been here all days and making sure you're showing up. So tonight, what's the goal? How many women do we want to have on this live tonight? We're at 155 from what I see. So let's make the goal. Y'all put down in the comments. What do you think the goal should be? Hit 350. All right, someone said 350. That was the first thing in my mind, 350. So we're going to hit 350. And if we hit 350 tonight, or y'all know I've been a little lenient, if we get close to it, I have a big surprise for you. So without further ado, we're going to jump on in. I have a special guest that I'm bringing to the stage. Matter of fact, she is going to join me as soon as her feet land right here. So she's going to be coming right on in. She's not going to be on the screen. She's going to come sit right next to me. So that's why I have 2 chairs, you all. And you guys are going to see this powerful woman as we discuss no more poverty. But before she comes in and she joins me, you all, I want to ask you an honest question. And I put this in the email and I put it on the chat. How many of you all have ever said at any moment of your life, I don't have the money? Just be honest. How many of y'all have ever said that? If you said that, I want you to comment below. I've said it. I said it. I said it. I don't have the money, right? And I know when we think about poverty, we immediately think about money. We immediately think about finances. We immediately think about the fact that we are lacking in the financial area. So I see a lot of me's. Marielle said my hand is all the way up, right? Denise, I said it. When we say no more poverty, not only am I going to address the whole money mindset thing tonight, but I'm also talking about the lack mindset that we carry. And that lack mindset may not just be the lack of finances. The lack mindset, which you guys have probably heard me talk about this a lot throughout this week, is you necessarily not seeing that you're worthy of something that greater that God has for you. So you always carry yourself in a lack, or you think about the lack and where you're lacking instead of positioning yourself to understand that God is a God that is a gaining God. He's a God that you're going to gain not only wisdom, but resources, provision. You're going to gain revelation. You're going to gain healing. Everything about your healing journey is about what you're gaining, not what you're lacking. And so when we literally always walk around and we say, I don't have the money, this is the biggest blessing blocker that most women don't realize keeps you from walking in the abundance that you have, because you're not supposed to speak out of your mouth what you don't have. You're supposed to speak what you do have, even if you don't see it, right? And so I had to really understand with my mindset that, you know, in my family, I don't know where this comes from. I don't know if y'all come from the same family, but we could walk around and we, you know, when I was in college, I was struggling. And even sometimes now, right? And we would walk around and say, I'm broke. And my mom would be like, don't you say that. Don't you say you're broke. Don't you speak that. It's like saying a cuss word, right? And I'm like, why is this such an intense thing? Because looking at my bank account, I'm broke, right? But they always kind of attack us in saying that broke, because it's like immediately saying, take that language out of your vocabulary, because that's not who you are. And when you say, I don't have the money, you're speaking less of who you are and the value of what you carry, because it is in us. It is in who you are, not your job, not the government, not someone cash apping you. It's in your power, it's in your substance, it's in your gifts that abundance lies for you. And I'm not just talking about financial. I'm talking about you walking in your power and you understanding that everything that you put your hands to, everything that you put your heart to, everything that you put your energy to has the ability to work on your behalf. And that's how you have to see your healing journey, because you guys are putting in some work. I don't know about everybody, but if you're a woman who is watching and you're listening to this and you've been on a healing journey and you've been putting in some work, probably more work on your soul than you're doing on your 9-to-5 job, that means that there's going to be a harvest, there's going to be a reap that is going to come based upon the work that you're putting in. But if you're carrying this poverty mindset, and if you're still walking around thinking about your lack and thinking about where you are not growing in a certain area, then you're immediately cursing everything that is stored up for you. You're already casting it down and say that I'm not worthy of receiving that, and I don't deserve it. Right. And so this is why we're coming together to say no more poverty, because it is a plague within a body of believers for us to always want someone to rescue us, save us, give to us, and we don't have to put anything in. And from a religious standpoint, that is how our minds have been conditioned, that everything has to be freely just given. Everything has to be a burden that we experience. Everything has to be a hardship. We think about our life that way. We think about our finances that way. We think about our faith walk that way. I have met so many people who even make their faith and their belief in God a struggle, and like it's a fight every day, because we're adopting this poverty mindset that I'm lacking in an area. And it may step on some people's toes tonight, but the system of religion has done a great job of making sure that we keep that mindset, because it keeps us running after man and putting our validity in certain things, because we're saying that in my lack, I always have to seek out for something. I always have to seek for man to give me something. I always have to seek for things to be able to come. When God is saying, in you, I have given you the miraculous dunamis power. I have given you the power that not only means miracles, but it means ability. It means strength. It means a force. It means that you have something that you can carry and you can tap into and that you can produce. And when you tap into that, there's greater that I have for you. There's greater abundance that I have for you, which is why we're so strong on our mantra scripture, Ephesians 3:20, because many of us quote it, but we don't actually believe it. And you can't believe it if you're carrying a poverty mindset. You can't quote Ephesians 3:20, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ever ask, think, or imagine, and truly believe that if you're carrying a impoverished mindset. So tonight, okay, I know I kind of came out the gate just yelling at y'all, but tonight, we're really going to take things layer by layer, just little layers. I can't give y'all too much because that's why you got to come to the Healing for My Soul tour. But we're going to take things layer by layer to really look and see, how do we break through this poverty mindset, okay? And I'm going to use me for an example. Jeanette, you said we always have to sow monies to receive or not to be lacking. Shirley said, yes, you're coming in hot. I'm sorry, Shirley, but this is passionate for me, because I really had to break through a lot of this mindset, especially, and this is why I'm saying layer by layer. The first thing that I remember when poverty mindset really creeped in for me is when I necessarily saw my mom and my father were great providers for my sister and I. And I'm not gonna lie, we lived I grew up living a good life, okay? A nice house, we had cars. I didn't grow up in a struggle, okay? But life happens, as we all know. And I remember seeing at a very young age my father lose a job that was providing for us. And I saw my mother immediately have to step into being an entrepreneur and making things happen and going after certain things. And so when I saw my father, lose a job, it took him, I don't know the full story because I was so young, but I feel like it took him down a place that he never thought that he would be. And then the struggle, y'all always hear people say the struggle is real, right? So then the struggle became real. And when life happens and it takes you from level 10 down to level 0, oftentimes you are immediately gripped with shame and feeling as if you don't deserve greater. You hide away from walking truly in who you are, and you cover yourself up in shame. And the poverty mindset now it starts creeping in because you start operating in a survival mindset. How can I survive? How can I make things happen? How can I, pinch pennies and turn it into $1? And so now I'm really always in this survival mode, because I'm trying to cover up and not make other people see where I'm lacking in this area. And so for me, that was, I would say initially the moment that I had to really recognize that I was walking in a poverty mindset because shame really took over me. And I didn't feel like at that young age, I didn't think that I had the ability to be able to help. I felt helpless in some type of way. And so for me, it was just like, okay, how do I just live in this shame and put on a mask and hide away from certain things and not knowing how to get out of that mode? So you adopt these behaviors of what you're just normally going to do throughout life. And this is easily how that can eventually just start creeping in, right? Some of y'all say you could relate to that survival mode. And you stay in that survival mode over and over and over again. So now immediately it's saying, okay, well, God, in every area that I lack, bring me out further. In every area that I lack, grant me the abundance, grant me the treasures, grant me the promises, grant me all these different things. But if I'm constantly making my hands move out of survival mode, I'm not allowing my hands to move as a place of knowing that I'm the vessel, I'm the tool that God is going to use to make those things happen. I'm not sitting around waiting for him to just drop a bag of resources or drop things in my life. I have to make moves too. I have to actually start aggressively doing things. Okay. And so for me, that's what I had to learn. I had to learn that I have the power to possess. I have the ability to be able to put my hands to work and see what can come out of me, what can produce out of me. However, okay, the shame, like I said, caused me to have the poverty mindset. But then once you start making things happen, and once you start seeing that you can achieve a greater sense of life, and that you can start walking in a greater healing, a greater understanding, a greater fervency of who you are, then I don't necessarily go into shame, but now sometimes I end up shying away from my environment or shying away from what we talked about this all week, that worthiness, shying away from what I know that I should be able to freely accept. And this shying away from things, you all, I hope y'all get me as I'm talking about this, because it's really just kind of coming to me as I'm just having conversations. Me shying away from certain things, again, put me in that lack mindset of saying, Ariel, you're not worthy of being in this place. You're not worthy of having the healing. You're not worthy of having the finances or the resources. So now you diminish yourself, or you shy away from your gifts, or you don't want to operate in your ultimate self of who you are, because again, I gotta lack. Because if I am not lacking, people are going to think that I'm boastful. People are going to think that I'm prideful. People are going to think that I am different. And I don't know how to be like that. I don't know what it's like to be the trailblazer in my family. I don't know what it's like to be the one that's going to bring resources to restore my legacy. I don't know what that looks like. So because I don't know what that looks like, I'm going to shy away from that. And I'm not going to allow my family, I'm not going to allow people around me to be able to see that part of me. And that alone keeps you out of atmospheres, and it keeps you out of doors that you shouldn't necessarily, that you feel like you're not worthy of walking in. So I went from shame to now, okay, I'm operating in shyness, and I'm saying, okay, well, I don't want people to see my light. I don't want people to see what I carry or who I am. And so then what ends up happening is I become stuck. I become stuck to rely on systems. I become stuck to rely on my religion. I become stuck to rely on someone to come save me and to come make things better. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to elevate you. It's not going to do anything. So now you get stuck in this cycle over and over and over again. And you look back, and that's where your life is, right? So let me bring this home for you guys in some way as it relates to, I'm going to talk about money and finances, okay? So for myself, not having everything that I necessarily desired, when I had to look at my relationship with money, and I had to look at my relationship with finances, the shame of saying I need, or the shame of not really understanding that I can produce and that I can do things starts creeping in. I don't feel like I'm deserving of anything. And so now I shy away from my gifts. I shy away what I can necessarily do. So I'm a young woman that I know I have gifts. I know that God has put something in me to produce. I know that abundance is my portion. I know that promises are stored up for me. But why am I feeling so stuck like I can't actually make that happen? And when I had to look at this poverty mindset that I was developing, it wasn't because of the systems, it wasn't because of the job, it wasn't because of I didn't have the resources. It was because this poverty mindset was happening because I developed a relationship with my pain. I developed a relationship with my own self. I would develop a relationship with money that I didn't know how to really communicate that to anybody. And so I continue to keep walking in this lack. I continue to keep walking and saying, yeah, I gotta keep struggling. I gotta stay on the struggle bus. What changed this for me is that I had to start producing not when things were going to happen. I had to start producing when I didn't have it. Because if you start producing when you don't have it, then you're going to start seeing your strength. Then you're going to start seeing what you're capable of. Then you're going to start seeing how God makes a way for you in the area of you making some decisions. And I was a blocker to a lot of the things that I said I wanted, but I didn't take action to actually produce when I didn't have it. And a lot of us want to sit around and we want to wait until we see it to make actions instead of realizing that I can make action even though I don't have it. For some of you all, you may say, Ariel, I got 30 cents in my bank account and I want to do something. How am I supposed to make that happen when I don't have it? What I'm going to ask you is what have you done to try to make that happen when you don't have it? Because most times you could sit there and you cannot do anything. But it could be something as simple as taking a walk down the street and knowing that you just may run into somebody that may bless you. I'm just making this up tremendously because you decided to take action to do something even when you were lacking, instead of sitting there and just waiting on something to fall on your lap. I had to still move when I had 30 cents in my bank account. I had to still get in the car when I had 30 cents in my bank account. I still had to have a smile on my face when I had 30 cents in my bank account. I still had to charge that credit card when I didn't know how I was going to pay it when I had 30 cents in my bank account. But what I was doing was taking action. But here's how you break poverty. When you're taking action in an area of your life that you need and not just what you want. When it came to necessarily my healing journey, and when it came to me seeing that God had something greater for me, I had to start taking action in areas that I needed, not just what I wanted. And God is looking at what does my daughter need in her state of lack, not what she wants out of her state of lack. God is going to provide for you in the area of what you need. And most of us, we're looking at stuff of what we want. And that's why things are not moving and shifting on our behalf, because it's not necessarily what you need for your soul, what you need for you to get to the next level. And I had to start taking action in that area. Okay. So I had to give you guys a little backstory in the best way I can. And I hope that bless you a little bit before I bring in a guest who can speak to this in a way greater way than me, right? So without further ado, y'all want to take a guess of who I'm bringing in. Okay, all I did was just lay a little foundation and a little nugget so y'all can take this and run with where we're about to go. Okay? So, y'all want to take a guess of who's our special guest for tonight? Let's see. Y'all ready? Y'all not guessing. You said this is well needed. I'm glad it's well needed. I'm glad. So they said Lakeisha, and it could have been Lakeisha, but Sandra Blount. I'm saying that right? Blount. You guessed it right. Deborah Williams, you guessed it right. Pastor D is coming on in to bring it home with us tonight, you all. As we in our last day and focus on this area of no more poverty. All right. So I just laid like a little foundation, which I hope that y'all got some nuggets out of that.
You laid a great foundation.
I hope so. Kind of felt like I was like, so say, bring her in. Yes. So surprise for you all who came on this last night. For us to enter it in this, they said, Tamika said, poverty blinded me from seeing the greater in me, which is exactly what it does. It really blocks you from seeing the power that you possess. It blocks you from seeing the greater that's within you. Shanier said that was a big damn nugget. Okay, well, I'm glad Shanier, that was a big nugget, right? It blocks you in a lot of ways, right? So let's speak to this poverty. What do you have to say about this?
You laid a great foundation to even start provoking our thinking. You know what I'm saying? And that's what poverty is a mindset, you know, and your mindset becomes very much deprived because of the struggles, because of the lack, things that have even happened to your parents. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have enough, so they had government cheese. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just using that for an example. And that government cheese was my mother. You know, we had government cheese. How many of y'all had that government cheese? Make some great macaroni and cheese.
I was gonna say that. Allison still give me that government cheese.
That bologna, you know what I'm saying? That you got to cut up yourself. See, y'all know about that. You know what I'm saying? That bologna, you ate it though. That powdered milk that you had to eat when it was low. You know what I'm saying? But however, you could easily get stuck in that mindset because of the struggles, your mother's struggles, your foremother's struggles, her mother's struggles. And before you know it, you think that that's your normal way of thinking. And then that mindset, it transcends into your relationships with people, with men, and with money. Primarily. You know what I'm saying?
With ministry, men, and money.
Ministry, men, and money. Most definitely. You know, and I have had to deal with my own mindset. I remember when God first had me to step out into the ministry, pastoring, I really did not like taking tithes and offerings. I would have someone else do that for me. And sometimes I wouldn't even do it at all. Now that was a good thing, but it also could have been a curse as well, because I just did not see more so the value in what I was giving and what I was delivering and what I was extending myself. So it wasn't even about the tithes and the offerings. I was so busy looking at other pastors who misused people. You know what I'm saying? Used them for selfish gain. I did not want to be deemed as such. And so what it did indirectly caused me to formulate a impoverished mindset.
So you always talk about the principle, kingdom principles. And one of the principles you always talk about is that it's a principle for us to sow. And not just sow like, oh, I'm sowing a seed in ministry, but a principle for us to give, so for us to receive, right?
Correct.
Why is that so important?
You really want to know the truth? Y'all really want to know the truth, because it's going to really cause you to think. We use terminologies to get people to do things that has no substance or principle lying with it, that causes our mind to soar and it stays impoverished. I want you to really think about it. If someone says sow a seed into the ministry, it's nothing wrong with me sowing into the ministry, but what is the ministry standing for? That it's literally capturing souls as opposed to meeting the selfish needs or the bill needs or the other needs, which is nothing to negate that. but you have to think about what is the cause. And so now there is no seed sown unless you know the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And when I know the soul, I know the soil. You cannot plant a seed in a garden where you're going to get tomatoes, but you also plant in a garden where the seed is cucumbers.
Mm-hmm.
You got to literally know, who am I? Who God has called me to be? Where am I sowing that this person who's leading, as well as what I endeavor to do, and that is to capture souls. So healing is our staple here, that if you're going to invest, you're going to invest in your own soul first, because you are the soil that's going to get you a return on your investment, because you're not just putting it in the plate, you're putting it in yourself for healing, because we stand for what? Healing.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to just putting something in something and it's hard ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A basket can be hard ground. Not saying it's the tool to collect it, but a lot of the things that we sow into, we don't even know what we sow into, and so it just goes on dry ground. And anything that's on, let me put that same seed of a tomato when I'm expecting a cucumber and I just drop it on the ground. It really ain't going anywhere. If you want to be loosed, free, come out of this impoverished mindset, you got to sow into your healing for your soul to grow in a place and in a time where now the harvest is there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because
I hope that makes sense to y'all too. Does that make sense to you all?
Yeah, I mean, to me it does, because I did not see the value of, sewing into myself. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not early on.
Yeah.
I didn't see the value of sewing into myself. And like I said, I had to really, even when there was a state of lack, I had to really say, okay, if you're going to invest in anybody, if you're going to give to anybody, you're going to give to yourself. Now that transaction may mean that I'm doing it for like I said, I'm sowing into the soul of also someone else and myself,
Yeah.
but I'm really doing it for myself.
Well, you got to look at it like this. Let's stick to self.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look at nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
I can sow into myself and say, wait, I'm going to get my nails done.
Mm-hmm.
You invested in yourself, but it still has no soil.
Mm.
Your nails don't have soil. It's your soul. The investment comes from your soul. Does that make sense? As opposed to, because if you think about it, a impoverished mindset is going to do a lot of things that has nothing that's going to give you a return.
That's true.
So just for me to say, well, I invested in myself because I want to get my nails done, I went and bought me a new dress or whatever, it has no soil. It's not pertaining to your soul, it's pertaining to your flesh. So the investment, and there's nothing wrong with getting your nails done. Please don't go to the extremes, you all. But have I put my priority to invest in my soul so I can get more to now get my nails done, my dress, and my hair out of my overflow, because I'm no longer in a impoverished mindset, I'm in a rich mindset. And so now things flow from within, and not me just coming and putting stuff on the outside. I'm putting stuff on the inside. So now I don't have to struggle in a impoverished mindset and charge that dress or charge those nails and now go struggle and try to go pay for it and wait for the next pay period. So now I'm thinking I'm getting ahead, or I'm just getting by, when I'm really going further and further and further and further into deprivation. I didn't say debt, deprivation. And this is what healing does. It awakens you. It enlightens you to truth, so you can now see differently, think differently, and now behave differently. Because I'm mature.
Yeah. You trying to look at the comments?
Yeah, I'll have my reading glasses.
Yeah, they said that's just beauty. That's beauty flesh, deprivation. Yes, either you're making it plain. And that's so key, because like I said, really, God is not looking at what we want. It's more so, what does your soul need? And I love how you said that maturity piece is because healing is going to cause you to be mature and examining your own soul and recognizing what do I need? We've done a great job in the body of Christ and in poverty mindset to use so much material things to cover up our soul and not look at what's really sitting within our soul and not needing our soul and intending to it in an area that's necessarily needed for us. And so we've done a great job of it. And I don't know how many of y'all still do it or love it or whatever, but for me, it's time out for that, because I know that as long as I continue to keep tending to the inner me, like you said, looking at the soil in which that's going to, that's where God is really looking at. He's not moved by our wants and our, not that he doesn't know our desires, but our tangible wants.
Well, let me break it down in a way that we all could probably think about it more in depthly, because I don't want to put the blame on the church, because it's not our fault. The church is deprived. And when I say the church, we who are going into the building, we make up the church. We are deprived. Why? Because our minds was victimized to live in a state of poverty. So I'm going to use, for instance, me as a Black woman. I'm a Black woman. So if I have been looking at or have been inflicted, as my ancestors were, through enslavement, to strip me from everything that I had, which was riches, bring me over into a country, put aprons on me, put scarves on me, and make me look like I'm deprived, feel like I'm deprived, train my mind to believe I'm deprived, I'm going to take that everywhere I go. Does that make sense? That's a impoverished mindset. So now you got a white woman, and I'm just used to Black and white. I know we got other ones, Philippines and all kind of women here, and I thank God for it. But just from a Black and a white standpoint, now I got a white woman who's watching it, seeing me be victimized and brutalized. Now she elevates herself to think she's better than, and that's still a impoverished mindset. Because what the enemy wants us to do as women is to think against one another and not stand united. And unity represents enrichment. Division represents deprivation. So we thinking we're unified in the body of Christ because our bodies is in one space, but literally our minds are steadily divided, because some of us now, Black women on Black women, think that we're better than. We think that we're greater than. We have a grandiose mentality because we may have obtained tangible things, education and things like that, but our soul is still impoverished. And now we're living in a false sense of self, because if we can't stand united, what does that tell you? We're deprived. I'm depriving myself of your power. You're depriving yourself of my power. We're depriving ourselves of each other, because when we come together, it states a claim, no more will you, devil, make me deprived of another powerful woman who got my back. Did that make sense?
It did make sense. It really did. And to be honest, that was a big wake-up call, and for me, because I was talking to someone earlier about how just even colorism amongst Black women has created this divided thing. And it's been a struggle, because nowadays women are addressing some of those different things, and I really have to be mindful to not let that division creep in, even though I know that colorism can be very real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that about how, taking away, not seeing my power and someone else's power, it really, that hit home, because we all carry it in different ways.
And it's so much amongst us, not just women and women, man and woman. For me to be able to give myself, my heart, stand with a man and be with him, and then he treats me like I'm shit. You understand what I'm saying? He cannot see himself in me. That's division. If he cannot cherish me as he does his own body, he is in pain. I'm in pain because of his pain, and we're still divided and we're impoverished. We have a poverty mentality. If I cannot be the woman that I am and think, this is just real talk. If I just celebrate you because you got a college degree and you doing all these things and you got a job making six figures and I think you arrived, I'm deprived. I'm deprived of truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm deprived of my own sense of self, which is why I am a firm believer is that no one can minister or be or build for my legacy better than me. Because just as well as somebody else can give it to you, they can take it away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give it to you. I invest in you because it's my birthright. Now that's an enrichment mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm telling the enemy. No, I should have said freaking more. You know what I mean? No more poverty, no more deprivation, no more stinking thinking, no more. Am I going to sit up here and think that because my kids went to college that they good? It's an educational system that is feeding their mind, and there's nothing wrong with education. Don't get me wrong. I'm using that for an example, but I can't buy into the total belief that because they have acquired certain things, that they have not experienced my pain, they have not been inflicted by my impoverished mentality, they have not dealing with perversion, and they're not dealing with pride. When their daddy got pride, their mama got pride, their sister got pride, and their great-great-grandmama got pride. I mean, that's just, that ain't impoverished, that's just damn right stupid. I mean, I'm so serious.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that not to be facetious. I'm saying that because, Ariel, this Healing for My Soul tour, it is so in me because I'm so sick and tired of people talking about Jesus, praying, reading Bibles, and we're blinded to the truth. We're living beneath our privilege. The kingdom is a word that means royalty, but I don't see the royalty in the body of Christ. I don't see the principles. I don't see our legacy growing greater. We're growing worse and worse and worse. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're buying into the world when we sit up here and say, Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. Shut up. Claim no more. Then we go Romans 12:2. Mm. Because this is so far greater than us in our flesh. It's spirit-led, it's spirit-bred, it's spirit-ordained. This is breaking curses off of hundreds and hundreds of generations. That God said, I chose you, Shanera. I chose you, Sabrina. I chose you, Mary. I chose you. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. If you can't see it, you're deprived. You're impoverished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see it? I can't see the names, so I'm just naming some.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because that really is. I mean, that's already walking in poverty by being blinded.
You're so busy seeing the pastor and the leader and the bishop and the pope and the apostle, you can't see your damn self. See you. Don't see me. See yourself. See your legacy. See your grandchildren. See your great-grandchildren. See the great-great-great ones that's going to come, although you might not be on this earth and he may tarry. Can you see? Stop looking at everybody and look in the mirror. I don't know. Am I speaking English? Can I say it any greater, any better, any plainer? See, stop looking at what everyone else is accomplishing and see you. Bottom line, see your legacy and say no more. No more poverty, no more pain, no more pride. Rather, this is just real talk. Because I want everybody to be there. Everybody under the sound of my voice, those who are watching the replay 3 times, and the replay 2 times. But if you don't come, I'm still coming, and I'm going to say no more. Mm-hmm. Because of my investment, not only in myself, but mainly also my investment in other women as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So all I can do is speak for me and mine, because your attendance don't determine my own destiny. And my attendance don't determine yours. It's your own. Mm.
Yeah.
I'm getting everything that the enemy stole. Did y'all see that? I don't know how many of you all watched Sanford is Home. And Bubba, when that episode, when he was like, I want my daddy's money, my daddy's records. I want my daddy's records. I'm coming in, I want my daddy's stuff. I want my great great granddaddy stuff. I want it all. I want what the enemy stole from my mama, my grandmama, my great 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 great, the ones I didn't even know, the elders who died in faith. I want it all. I come to get it, no more. And I got to get it in the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that's just my mindset. I'm not deprived.
So, speaking about the spirit realm and having to get it in the spirit, I said that I had one more surprise for you all, right? So, we already talked about you all, if you get your ticket for the Healing for My Soul tour by March 24th, that we threw in those bonus prizes, those bonus video series, those bonus ebooks if you're VIP. But there's something we're going to be doing all next week to really prepare and get in the spirit based upon the tour.
Before you say that, I want to shift your mindset, because you talked about our language, you talked about our speech. And I want you to know that we're not throwing in a bonus, we're investing in it. I mean, see, because that's how we get the return. Every woman who has purchased a ticket and you purchased something, guess what we did? We invested back in you. That's not poverty. That's richness. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I just throw it to you, you might not catch it. When I invested in you, I'm intentionally putting it in the soil, in the soul. And then I know that I'm putting it in the soul because this woman wants healing. So not only is she's going to get the return, I'm going to get the return as well. You see how that works?
Yeah.
So whatever that bonus is that we all give, because Ariel packaged it all together. I don't know all of it, but I know of it. We're investing in every last one of them. You give, we give. You sow, we sow. You invest, we invest. Now that's a rich mentality. That's a rich mentality. And now we're all going to say no more.
Yeah.
Okay, you go with the rest of your stuff.
So do you want to tell them what's going to be next week?
Go ahead, tell them.
It's going to be you. Y'all saw me all week long for these Women of Power interviews every day this week, Monday through Friday. All right. So next week in the community, because the momentum is not stopping, not only did we just really allow a lot of stuff to come up through these Women of Power interviews. How many of y'all really, some things have really come up out of you? It just triggered some things in you. It got your mind provoked to start really thinking about things on a deeper level. And again, this is not even scratching the surface of what's going to be addressed during the tour. But we do know that this community has been awakened based upon these 5 days. Now we're going to seal as we come together as a tight community in itself, where next week we are going to come with 5 power-packed days of...
I know.
I'm off, y'all. Y'all got me in the nighttime. Y'all know I'm a night owl, all right? She is going to come with 5 power-packed days of prayer, right?
How many of you all love prayer? I love it.
Yes.
Oh my God, I don't pray just to pray. I love it because I understand the purpose.
Yes. So she's going to give you more details, but 5 devotionals, 5, we're going to power-pack prayers as we pray, not just over, the things that are going to happen in the tour, but the pain, the pride, the perversion, the poverty, so that we can literally not only just, you guys got a lot of stuff awakening your soul, but now you need to open up your ear for the spirit man to really speak to you what is specifically needed in as you walk through the doors of the tour, what you're receiving. So can you all posture your heart for prayer next week? If y'all gonna posture your heart for prayer, I want you to put in comments below, I'm gonna posture my heart. So
just put a heart emoji up there.
How they know 5 a.m. praying?
Because they know me. They know me. How many of y'all know? Okay.
5 a.m. All right. 5 a.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. So where is it going to be at?
It's going to be live right here in this community. And Ariel, I have been praying about these days of prayer. And I'm asking God, what do you want? Because a impoverished mentality want what they want when they pray. An enriched mindset want what God wants because he or she in this case understands that it's never about her. It's all about him. And when it's all about him and his people, she will be taken care of. I don't think about me. So these next 5 days, he has ministered to me to not just come on and just pray, but to cry out. Cry out on behalf of his people. I don't know what that crying out sound like. All I know, I just got to get up at 5 a.m., hit this live button. And when you cry out, it comes from your soul because it's spirit led, where the Holy Spirit maketh intercession. Mm-hmm. It's not about our head, it's about our heart, yielding our heart. So it's standing in the gap. I'm coming to cry out as an intercessor, as a woman who's standing in the gap for other women because we want poverty to be broken. And oftentimes we just say, oh, let me pray about it, but you got to take action. Faith without works is dead. I could get up every morning. I'm like, Lord, loose the money. Lord, I loose the bills. And it ain't loose because you ain't taking no action for your own soul. Everything you need is in you already. This is why our mantra scripture is exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask, think, according to the power that worketh where?
In us.
In who?
Us.
In who?
Us.
He ain't say in you. You think it in you, poverty mentality. Now unto him who do exceedingly abundantly, according to the power that working in us, and your mind saying you. Your mouth saying us, your mind saying you. Us means us. I'm ready to move in a body of women who've made a decision. And now someone is standing in the gap crying out for who?
Us.
Us. Us. 5 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Y'all setting y'all alarm. Get your sleep this weekend.
5 a.m. And it's putting a greater demand on me. But I'm accepting it because I know that we're at a greater playing field, a greater realm in Christ. I know it like I know it. Why? Because I've been taking the hits. I've been taking the attacks. I've been taking the enemy's passivity, trying to make me passive, trying to make me go back to poverty, trying to make my pride come up, trying to make my perverted thoughts come up. I'm telling y'all, I'm just being real. You can't cry out and you're faking the funk. And I know that the struggle and the challenges and the attacks are real, but that 5 a.m., we about to break his neck because he's not intimidated by our talk. He is intimidated by our action. And when he hears a thunder and a roar of a sound, because he is omnipresent, that means everywhere this dunamis is, he's there. And in the spirit, we unify. Do you know we're going to stir up the gates of hell? Then we come into that tour to let it manifest. I'm going to stir it up. And the next weekend, we're going to be starting April 1st. And we're going to see it manifest. I'm going to see the cry manifest. We're going to see the warfare manifest. We're going to see the supplication manifest. What has happened in the spirit, God's going to make it through us manifest. April 1st, where?
Atlanta, Georgia.
April 8th, where?
Chicago, Illinois.
And April 15th?
Baltimore, Maryland.
It's going to be one.
And if you're virtual, you April 1st.
That's right. That's right.
So here's the thing. You guys need to set your alarms, okay? Definitely set your alarms for 5 a.m. But my mom is not me, so it's gonna be in a group. So those who are on YouTube and those who are on the other Facebook page, I'm letting y'all know right now. Join the Dunamis Women Community Facebook group. Get in the group so you can be there. Because she is not going to stream on all these other platforms.
I don't even know how to do it.
Not Instagram, not none of it, okay?
I just got Facebook Live down pat.
So make sure you all are in the Dunamis Women Community group. Don't be on YouTube because I'm looking for the prayer. It's not going to be on there.
It's going to be on Zoom or YouTube or Instagram.
Yes, so it's going to be
Dunamis Women Community.
In the private Dunamis Women Community Facebook group. So if you're not in the group, make sure you're in here. And make sure you all, like I said, continue to invite your friend. I looked at everything today. And can I tell y'all who's in top place, all right, for the tour? Baltimore, you all are in top place. All right. Y'all are showing up. There are like only, I want to say 10 to 15 tickets left for Baltimore. Once we hit the max, we cannot go above that. So Baltimore, shout out to you all. You all in first place. All right. In second place, virtual crew. All right. Those who are virtual, y'all gonna tear that Zoom room up on April 1st. All right. You guys are in second place. So if you're virtual, give yourself a shout out. Yes, they are. In third place, and you just kind of made it, so I am gonna give you your accolades.
That Chi-Town?
No, Atlanta. Y'all was in last place, but Atlanta came hard
to the Chi,
and y'all bumped out Chi by a few. So Chi, you right behind them. But Atlanta, they procrastinated, so they was waiting to the last minute. But Atlanta, you all are in third place, and then comes Chicago. But I already know Chicago is gonna come heavy because they was already in third place, and then Atlanta just like tipped them over last night. All right, y'all just tipped them over. So I'm letting you guys know we're kicking off in Atlanta April 1st. Virtual is going to be April 1st. It's going to be very, very heavy and strong as we kick this tour off. But Atlanta, if you live in nearby states, come heavy, come hard. It is our biggest city out of all of them. So make sure you all get registered. And I'm letting you know right now, if Atlanta doesn't show up hard, we're going to show up hard when we come there. But if y'all don't show up hard, West Coast is on your tail. And they were upset at the fact that we weren't coming to California, on the West Coast, Arizona, Vegas. So I'm letting you know right now, because I look at all this. Atlanta, if y'all don't show up, we are not coming back next year. We taking our butt all the way to the West Coast, and I'm going to see how the West Coast show up. So I'm letting y'all know that right now we're going to be heavy, but I'm talking about live right there in ATL. Being there, y'all better call your friends. You better get some people with you, because don't be crying next year. And y'all like, well, why are you not coming back to Atlanta? Y'all better come on. You all better come on. So we're kicking off with you all first. I heard Atlanta come heavy, but y'all creeping in. So make sure you come. But although if you're in the West Coast, you already know that Washington, Cali, West Coast, Las Vegas, right? If you're in the West Coast, you definitely know to come virtual. If you don't live in any nearby states, come on virtual and be on there. See, Cornelia said, shame on my home state. I shame on y'all. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with y'all in ATL, but call your sister, call your friends, bring your daughters, come on out ATL. We're kicking off with you all, and the virtual is coming heavy, and we're going to give away some amazing prizes. So if you have gotten your ticket already, make sure you post in the group your video of what you're looking forward to. It's going to be a fun time. So make sure you get your ticket at www.healingformysoultour.com. Get registered. Do not delay and wait last minute. We cannot wait to see you all. So,
and you all do me a favor, share the link. Share. There's nothing wrong with sharing. Whether they look at it, whether they don't, share. If you share it, all of us as women need healing. Let this be a tool to witness for Christ. Don't get consumed whether they're going to come to Christ or not, or come to healing or not. It's your responsibility to share. If we all shared this, how many can we reach?
Yeah.
How many but if just one out of 1,000, if it's one out of the 99, we have done our part. So share it via text, share it via your Facebook, share it with your mouth, just share, because all of us as women need healing. Whether they recognize it or not, it don't mean it's not the truth.
Yeah.
Share.
So we're excited. We cannot wait to see you all.
Yes.
My job is done.
You did all 5 nights. I am so proud of you.
I'm so tired. I'm proud of myself too.
It takes discipline. You know, and it's not like you're sitting here not working all day. You are in meetings, you run your mouth all day, she is a hard kingdom worker. But for you to come every night at 8:00 and be on time.
See?
Now that's the thing. See? That's the miracle.
And I had makeup on 3 out of 5.
And your hair was done, all of them, even though your makeup wasn't on. I am really proud of you, because it requires discipline.
Yes. So I will see y'all back on Wind Down with Ari, my regular syndicated talk show on Wednesday night. But I love having you all here and being with you for these 5 Power Pack days. Next week, we are going to have the 5 Power Days of Prayer. So make sure you set your alarm for 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 4 a.m. Central Standard Time and 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to be here right in the Doodle Women Community Group for prayer as we kick off the tour. And we're going to be showing you all some behind the scenes. So I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this last night, for coming on in. And no more, all right? No more procrastination. Get your tickets for the Healing for My Soul tour at healingformysoultour.com. And we will see you all next week. Enjoy your Saturday.
Love
I may
you
pop
all.
in here tomorrow, but love you all. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Pop in. Love y'all.
With a picture. Good night, you all.